You've been carrying it for years, a weight that no one else can see, a poison that drips, slowly, into every part of your life, and you've convinced yourself you can't let go. You tell yourself it's part of you, that without it, you wouldn't know who you are. But here's the truth. It's not part of you. It's the chain that's strangling you. If you keep holding on, it will not only destroy your peace, it will destroy you. And when it does, there will be nothing left to save. Today, you will face a choice: let go or continue dying in pieces. This is not a soft message. This is not comfort. This is truth. And if you have the courage to stay until the end, you will understand how to break free. But first, pause before we go any further. Make sure you don't miss what's coming next. Subscribe to this channel. Leave a like, because every week, I will give you the tools to tear down the mental prison you've been trapped in. And if you don't take that step, you'll drift back into the noise and nothing will change. Now, we begin. Point 1. Pain changes you, but not all pain transforms you. Some pain teaches, some pain shapes. But there's a kind of pain that doesn't make you stronger, it makes you smaller. The pain of betrayal, the pain of regret, the pain you replay in your mind like a scene carved into stone. You think that by holding on to it, you're honoring your own suffering, but you're not. You're feeding it. You're giving it a home inside your head. Rent-free. Imagine holding a burning coal in your hand, refusing to drop it because you believe it proves something. All it proves is that you're willing to destroy yourself for the sake of a memory. You cannot move toward power while your hands are full of ashes. To control begins with awareness. You cannot master what you refuse to look at, so the first step is brutal honesty. What exactly are you clinging to? A person, an event, an identity built around being the one who is wrong. Silence your excuses for a moment. Picture yourself standing in front of a mirror. Your reflection is not the person you think you are. It's the collection of everything you refuse to release. Every scar, every story, every justification. You've made a museum out of your suffering. But power does not come from building shrines to the past. It comes from dismantling them brick by brick until there is nothing left but the foundation. 3. There is a reason the ancients spoke of detachment as the highest form of mastery. It is not apathy. It is not weakness. It is the refusal to be ruled by what you cannot change. Think of a warrior before battle. He does not carry the weight of yesterday's defeat into today's fight. He stands in the present, focused, unshakable. If his mind were clouded by what had already happened, his enemy would strike him down in an instant. You are no different. The moment you allow yesterday's wounds to dictate today's actions, you have already surrendered. For ask yourself, what do you fear will happen if you finally let go? Will you lose the identity you built? Will you feel empty without the pain you've been carrying? The truth is, yes, you will feel empty for a while, but that emptiness is not a void of fear. It is space, space for power, space for clarity, space for something unshakable to grow. You cannot build in a room already filled with rubble. Demolition comes first, and you are the one holding the hammer. 5. Silence is your weapon. In silence, the noise of memory fades. The voices that tell you to keep holding on grow weaker. The fear begins to dissolve. Imagine yourself walking through a forest at night. At first, you hear every sound, every crack, every movement in the dark. But then, silence. Not because the forest is empty, but because you have stopped reacting to every noise. That is what mental silence feels like. The past is still there, but it no longer pulls at you. It no longer controls the rhythm of your steps. 6. You were not born to live in chains, but chains are comfortable when you've worn them long enough. They begin to feel like part of your skin. This is why breaking them is so difficult. It's not just about strength. It's about the willingness to feel exposed, to stand without the armor of your old wounds. And here is the paradox. The armor you think protects you is actually what keeps you vulnerable. Because as long as you wear it, you will never learn the strength of standing bare. 7. The mind resists change. It prefers the familiar, even if the familiar is killing you. This is why you must become ruthless with your own thoughts. When the memory surfaces, cut it down. When the old story plays, silence it. When the feeling returns, breathe and let it pass without gripping it. You will fail at first. That is inevitable. But every time you choose not to engage, you weaken the hold it has on you, until one day, you realize you can no longer remember why you carried it for so long. 8. Understand this. Letting go is not forgetting. It is refusing to relive what has already been survived. History remains, lessons remain, but the emotional chains dissolve. You walk lighter, think clearer, move faster, and from this position, you can finally take control, not of what happened, but of what happens next. 9. There is no shortcut, no hidden technique, only the disciplined act of release, repeated until the release becomes your nature. The world will try to pull you back into the cycle. People will remind you of the pain, either intentionally or without realizing it. You must learn to meet them with stillness, a stillness so complete that their words cannot find a way inside. This is the kind of mastery that cannot be faked. It radiates. It commands respect without demanding it. 10. And here's the most important truth. Letting go is not a single event. It is a way of living, a continuous refusal to be owned by what is no longer real. You wake up, you release, you breathe, you release, you move forward, you release again, over and over, until one day, you look around and realize you've stepped into a life untouched by the shadow you once carried. You think letting go is a moment. It's not. It's a discipline, a weapon you sharpen every single day. Most people never master it. They wait for time to heal them, not realizing time does nothing without action. Time is a stage. You are the actor. If you don't move, the curtain will fall and the story will end exactly where it began. You want to know why you still suffer, because you haven't decided that the suffering is over. There is a dangerous comfort in pain. It gives you something to hold, something to blame, something to point at when the question comes, why are you not who you wanted to be? It's easier to say, because of what happened to me, than to face the truth, because I keep choosing to carry it. Picture yourself chained to a massive stone. Years pass. You've grown strong enough to drag it wherever you go, but strength is not freedom. The true test is cutting the chain. Most never try, because without the stone, they no longer have an excuse. To control is not about dominating others. It is about ruling the empire within your own mind. An empire where your thoughts are disciplined soldiers, your emotions, loyal citizens, and your pain, a conquered enemy, locked away, never to rule again. But right now, your empire is in chaos. Memories riot in the streets, regrets whisper in the shadows, and your will is weak enough to listen to them. You cannot build greatness on such ground. You must become the ruler your mind fears. Not gentle, not merciful, but fair, decisive, unshakable. 3. Detachment is not closing your heart. It is removing the strings that let others control it. Imagine a marionette. Every string is tied to a memory, a wound, a regret. The moment someone touches it, you dance, whether you want to or not. Detachment is cutting the strings. You still feel, but you no longer move against your will. This is power, the kind of power that makes those who once controlled you realize they can no longer reach you. For do not mistake silence for weakness. Silence is the arena where real battles are fought. When you're silent, you can hear the voice of your pain and decide not to obey it. The untrained mind reacts to every thought as if it's an order. The trained mind waits, observes, decides. Picture a king in his throne room. Messengers bring news, good and bad. He doesn't leap from his seat at every word. He listens. He weighs. He responds with precision. You must become this king, because when you rule yourself with such discipline, no force outside you can rule you. 5. Letting go will feel like death. That's because it is. It is the death of the person you were. The one who lived bound to the wound. Do not fear this. In every death, there's rebirth. And the version of you that rises will not need the crutch of pain to stand. The caterpillar doesn't mourn the cocoon. The warrior doesn't mourn the armor he's outgrown. You, too, must stop mourning the parts of yourself that cannot walk with you into the life you are building. 6. The world respects mastery, not the loud kind, not the kind that shouts to be seen, the quiet, unshakable kind that radiates without a word. When you master the art of letting go, people notice. They won't understand it. They'll call it coldness or detachment or pride. Let them. Their need to label it as proof that they cannot comprehend living without the chains they still wear. 7. Your pain wants one thing: attention. Every time you replay it, talk about it, feed it with your focus, you are giving it exactly what it needs to survive. So starve it when the memory comes. Refuse to feed it when the urge to relive it rises. Cut the connection. At first, it will scream louder, like a fire denied fuel. It will fight to stay alive, but over time, it will shrink until one day, there's nothing left to burn. 8. Understand this. The people who hurt you are not the prison guards anymore. You are. They may have built the cage, but you're the one keeping the door locked from the inside, and the key has been in your hand the whole time. You just haven't used it, because freedom is frightening when you've lived along in confinement. But step out, feel the space. It is yours. No one can take it unless you invite them back. In point 9, there will be moments when you want to return to the pain, because it's familiar, because it's safe. That is when you must remind yourself, comfort is the enemy of power. The greatest empires fell not because of outside attacks, but because they rotted from within, grown soft, complacent, unwilling to face discomfort. Do not let your mind become such an empire. Choose the sharp edge of discipline over the dull haze of comfort. 10. Letting go is not losing. It is choosing not to fight battles that no longer exist. Every moment you spend in the past is stolen from the future you could be building. Every thought you give to what has already happened is a seed you do not plant in what is to come. And here is the truth that most will never face. Your future is not waiting for you. It is being built by the choices you make now, or destroyed by them. So make the choice. Release the chain. Step into the silence and walk forward without looking back. You think the past is over. It's not. Not until you make it so. It lives in the way you react without thinking, in the way you distrust even those who have given you no reason, in the way your eyes harden when someone speaks a certain word. This is how the past survives, not in the event, but in the reflexes it has burned into you. Letting go is not just about memory. It is about rewiring the mind itself. When your mind is a battlefield, the enemy is not the world, not the people who hurt you. The enemy is the part of you that clings to what is killing you. This enemy is patient. It will wait for your weakest moment. It will whisper, remember what they did. Remember how it felt. And the moment you say yes, you've already lost ground. Victory comes when the whisper arrives and you do nothing. No agreement, no resistance, just stillness. Until it passes like smoke through open air. To every attachment is a chain. Some chains are made of gold, others of rust, but all chains do the same thing. They keep you where you are. The mind loves chains because freedom requires choice, and choice requires responsibility. When you hold on to pain, you give yourself a reason not to move forward. It is the perfect disguise for fear. You tell yourself you're healing, when in truth, you're hiding. 3. Detachment is not about living without feeling. It is about feeling without being ruled by the feeling. Picture a river. Emotions are the water. The untrained mind falls in and is carried wherever the current takes it. The trained mind stands on the bank, watching, aware, but unmoved. This is how you must treat the pain that has defined you for too long. See it, feel it, but stay where you stand. For history has shown us that the strongest leaders were not the ones without wounds, but the ones who refused to let their wounds dictate their vision. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire while enduring loss, betrayal, and war. He did not let grief make his decisions. He did not let anger dictate his policies. He mastered himself first, and because of that, he could rule others. You are the ruler of your own mind, and if you do not govern it, the ghost of your past will. 5. Letting go will strip you bare. You will lose parts of your identity. People will not recognize you. Some will try to pull you back to who you were. Not because they care, but because they fear what your change means for them. You must be prepared for this, because transformation is not just an internal battle. It is a confrontation with the world that has grown used to your chains. 6. The pain you carry has shaped your habits. It decides where you go, what you say, what you avoid. It controls the people you allow into your life and the opportunities you let pass by. Once you see this, the question becomes unavoidable. Will you keep letting the ghosts of the past make the decisions of the present? The answer must be no, again and again, until it becomes instinct. 7. Picture a blade. It cuts because it is sharp. It is sharp because it has been honed. Your mind is the same. If you want it to cut through pain, through memory, through fear, you must hone it daily. This means practicing detachment in small moments, not just in the great battles. When a thought rises, cut it. When an old anger surfaces, cut it. When a feeling tries to drag you back, cut it. Do this 1,000 times, and one day, the blade will move on its own. A power is not given. It is taken. Taken from the grip of fear. Taken from the hands of the past. Taken from every thought that says, you can't. When you let go, you reclaim power that has been scattered across years of suffering. You pull it back into yourself, piece by piece, until you are whole again. And once you are whole, no one can touch you. Neither mind loves to bargain. I'll let go when I get closure. I'll let go when they apologize. I'll let go when the time is right. But closure is a trap. The apology may never come. The time will never be perfect. You let go not because the world has changed, but because you have. One day, you will wake up and the weight will be gone. Not because it vanished overnight, but because you set it down every day until it no longer belonged to you. You will look back at the person you were and feel no pull to return. The chain will be nothing but dust at your feet, and you will walk forward, not as someone who escaped their past, but as someone who was never truly owned by it. You've carried this weight for so long, you've forgotten what it feels like to stand without it. You've mistaken the chain for your spine, the pain for your heartbeat, the wound for your identity. But here's the truth you've been avoiding. You are not the wound. You are the one who survived it. One there is a moment, rare, sharp, irreversible, when you realize you have been free the entire time. The lock was never real. The cage existed only because you refused to walk out. Most people never see this moment. They live and die in the same mental prison, convinced the walls are made of steel when they are only made of habit. Today, you will see it, and when you do, you will have a choice: step out or turn away and pretend you didn't notice. To letting go is not mercy for those who hurt you. It is justice for yourself. Every second you hold on is another second you serve their sentence. In your own body, you are the jailer, the prisoner, and the judge, all at once. But you can also be the one who walks into the cell, unlocks the door, and says, "This ends now." 3. You think you'll lose something by letting go. You will. But what you lose is the illusion that pain is protecting you. Without it, you will see the truth, that you were always capable, always strong, always enough. The pain didn't make you. You made yourself despite it. For the mind will try to pull you back. It will dress the past in new colors, replay it from new angles, offer it to you like a gift. It will say, "Look again. Maybe this time you'll understand." Do not look. There is nothing new there. It is the same wound, the same story, the same weight. And every second you give it is a second stolen from the life you could be living. 5. Power is not in holding on. Power is in release. When you let go, you create a silence inside yourself that nothing can touch. This silence is not empty. It is full of control, clarity, and strength. It is the silence of a warrior who has faced every enemy, defeated them, and now stands alone, unshakable. 6. You must become dangerous to your own weakness. The moment it rises, cut it down. The moment it whispers, silence it. The moment it tries to bargain, refuse. Weakness thrives in hesitation. Strength thrives in decisive action. So when the thought comes, "Maybe I'll hold on a little longer," answer with action so swift, so absolute, that weakness has no time to speak again. 7. The world will notice, not because you tell them, but because you will move differently. Your eyes will be steady. Your words will be few, but sharp. Your presence will carry weight, the kind that does not come from anger or pain, but from the absence of both. Some will fear you, some will envy you, and some will try to test you. Let them. They will discover quickly that nothing they do can reach you. 8. The final step is this: never take the chain back, because you will be tempted. Pain can be seductive when you're lonely. Regret can feel warm when you're uncertain. But every time you take it back, you teach yourself that the prison was safer than the open world. Do not make that mistake. Once you walk out, burn the bridge behind you. 9. Picture this: you're standing on a high cliff. Below you is the ocean, endless, dark, and free. In your hand is the chain you carried for years. You polished it, named it, built your life around it. But now you see it for what it is: dead weight. You have 2 choices. Hold it until it drags you over the edge, or drop it and watch it vanish into the depths where it belongs. 10. So let it fall. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Now. And as it falls, breathe. Not the shallow breath of someone still chained, but the deep, steady breath of someone who has chosen power over pain. From this moment, you move differently, you speak differently, you think differently, because you are no longer carrying what was never meant to be yours. And when the world looks at you and asks, "What happened to you?" you will answer with silence, the kind of silence only the truly free can keep.